In this chapter, we have now made it to the half point of the discussion for additional amenities. Thank you for hanging on and stay tuned. A shemagh is a Middle Eastern scarf, for those of you who don't know. It's a very handy item that has 100 plus uses. Not only you could wear it, but you could also utilize it for other methods by any means. Though it is cotton, but it's a better type of cotton. This is what it is right here. It's basically, a nice piece of fabric, and my favorite part is that you can actually get this wet and it keeps you cool. But again, this is just a better setup. The only thing I would ask is that just don't try to make yourself look like a terrorist. Otherwise, I'll be asking a lot of questions and I'll probably be like, oh, okay, everyone stay away from this guy or gal. One of my favorite things that I, utilize it for is just wearing it like a simple scarf. I'll just show you one. I just wrap it like this and then have the ends here and then just bring this down and then tie it off into a quick bow like that and just leaving it like this. And it'll just keep me, warm, or better yet, if I wanted to, have like a water bottle of some sort, or just better yet, just pour it back here. Another thing that I also like to utilize it for, if my arm hurts, I could just turn this into a sling. I just need someone else to kind of tie for me, and that's all it is. You might want to probably, research or type down like per se how or what to use and what are the best ways to, wear this, so that way you know how to use it. But you also might want to probably test out if this, will be good cotton for you, because some people do complain about because it causes allergic reaction or it just isn't very comfortable for some. Luckily, at least I was very smart to wash this before wearing it. The other thing also to remember, if you remember when I had talked about, cooling towels and neck gaiters, that this also has to be washed by hand, because if you run the machine, because this is very, light and, much more fragile, it will actually get damaged and you can't wear it, and it's just gonna have to go to the garbage. The other thing to also remember is that you might want to pair this with, a pair of goggles, especially if you are in a snow zone or better yet, the desert where the sandstorm will be hitting anytime soon. And that's why I recommend this. My also favorite thing I like to utilize for is after I'm wearing it, if I'm wearing it like, on my head, like this, I could easily just take it off and then just drop it in like a basin, or better yet, if there's like a river, then I would rather go to the river and just drop it there and just put it back on afterwards. If you're like me or most people and you get overwhelmed easily by situations and also noise and people, well, guess what? That's why we're here to talk about it. If you are in this civilization kind of like this, where it's, noise, crowds, neon lights, smells, and you're gonna have to just sort of make do of it, and it gets to the point where it feels unbearable. Well, fortunately, that's just kind of how things happen. And also, last but not least, if you like to travel, but you don't really like being in the airport or in a plane, I get it, I know how it feels. Not many people like flying, and neither do I, but also, announcements are always loud, and it gets to a point where it could shock you. So, here's a couple of earmuffs. This right here is from the brand Western Safety, and this is from the brand Ranger. And these were great finds from Harbor Freight. This kind right here, I can just have it up like this, and then the framing, this right here is really nice because I could just easily do that and just hang it off, so that way it doesn't feel like the pressure is always pushing on my head, which is always a good plus. This kind right here, I could push it down, or I could, push back up to close it whenever I need to, and then have it up, and it just feels like a very snug, secure fit, which is always nice. But the little downside about these kinds is that when I put this up, okay, that's good, but then if I accidentally go like that, now it could probably just hopefully not fall out easily, if not, or more or less. And this right here is from the brand Walkers, which is a shooting brand that I have found from Big Five. One great thing I liked about this kind, which I had took with me when I was in Korea, is that I can just go like this and voila. Notice the, if I can fit my hand through there, that means at least my head can breathe a little bit, so it's not just, you know, pressing down on my head. And I could do this if I need to, but again, if you can avoid pressing it down on your head and avoiding the irritation, then good for you. Other thing that was really good about these kinds, which is why I'm glad I bought these for that reason, I could fold it like this, and then, look at, it's not gonna undo, it's just gonna stay put in place the entire time. And I could just hook it off to my backpack, and when I ever need to, I could just reach back here and then just put it on right away when I need it. And if you're also like me, but you like to wear, you know, ball caps, so I recommend. Although I did say don't wear ball caps, because here's another reason why. See this little cap right here? Here's what happens. If you were to put this on, and then per se this on, let me show you how. So when you have this, notice how at least they're not touching. But the problem is, if you position your hat in a way, and then you push like this, and then that little cap, and the earmuff is starting to touch, and then it gets pressed down on your head, it's gonna cause irritation, and you're gonna just drive yourself crazy, unless if you could position it properly. Versus something like this right here. This style is called 5-panel. Really trendy brand, and also really trendy style. So just position it like this. Let me make sure. Okay, just position it like that, and then you go like this, and voila. The best thing about this kind, again, it's just like completely flat, and there's just like nothing there, and it just feels like wearing nothing. And last but not least, if you remember when I told you about Boonie hats, here's the issue with Boonie hats. These may be nice for the hot weather because to protect you away from the sun. But the problem is, if you want to put this on, it's not gonna work. And even if you were to try to, you know, do something like this, slip this under, well, good luck with that. Because look, it's not gonna be a very secure fit, even if then. And then here's the last method of what I'm trying. See what I mean? There's just no possibility, and it's just not really gonna work that easily. So that's why I try to recommend, you know, something like this. Even though I did say, try to find hats that can, you know, shade you. But if you have another way to make this work, then I would say go ahead and do that. That's why I'm here to remind you that eye and ear protection is a very big critical, especially if you are sensitive.